Can I keep you for 5 more minutes?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Are you okay? For you
Absolutely.
because I just didn't want to speed up our conversation because it's just so perfectly beautiful. And the fourth choice and what you shared leads me right into the fifth. The fifth critical choice that I made was to finally realize that I could and then embrace my boundless capacity to give love and to receive love.
Yeah.
And even just the stories you've shared about family and community and belonging with the Curves family makes me think about this. But I want to take a step back again. A lot of times people will say to me, well, what do you mean? Like, what's an example of giving love? And I'll say, well, you tell me, because giving love and receiving love is an action. So that is what I'm talking about, the action, which is a choice. And I think it manifests for different people in different environments and different cultures and different circumstances. So I don't have the answers. I know how it manifests for me, but I really want to get and explore with you just what is your reaction to giving and receiving love? Just the idea of that, especially as a business executive. And then I'm going to ask, what does it feel like when you do give and you receive?
Yeah. It's funny because people don't want to talk about emotions like love in business. It's just not something that it makes people uncomfortable, which is interesting to me. And so when we set up the Radiance platform at the height of COVID, by the way, we did the work around this in the early part of 2020 when COVID was still unknown. We thought there were 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and the pandemic was not really understood yet. And our businesses were 100% closed. So franchisees were scared. They weren't making any money, but their landlords were still expecting them to pay rent. And we were doing a lot of lobbying work to try to help get them the economic support they needed. But when we set up the core values, the number one value, the first value that we put in our list of values was joy. And we were very intentional about choosing that. And I remember one of my executives who was a little more classic, but I love working with him. But he asked me, he goes, "Are you sure that that's what we want to do? Are you sure that that's the right way to put it? I mean, I know we feel that, but don't you think people will think that's kind of cheesy?" And I said, they might. But I think that if you found a culture on joy, what you attract is a lot of people who are hungry for that, who want their life to be joyful and want to bring their joy to the business that they run, even in crisis, because there's always problems in business. And it was that focus on joy that helped us to maintain some levity through a very difficult time, but then really did attract some of the most phenomenal people that I've ever worked with in my career. And building it around that, I think, is a form of love. It's a way of giving love to people who give so much of themselves to their careers and to the work that they do. And I think more employers need to think about that. Like, how do we allow that very human need to be something that's on our list of things that we fulfill? I mean, yes, we pay fairly. That's a great quality to have.
Yes, absolutely. Right.
But how we treat people and how we prioritize their families and how we try to understand their growth and their needs and what they want, that to me is a way of giving love to people. And when you do that, what you get back from that is a lot of, I think, loyalty, but joy that they then bring to the customers that you're trying to serve, that helps the business to grow. And I think in the years that I was there, that is what really helped the company to flourish. And it's one where, I don't know, I think about all of the leaders out there, the Brene Browns and the Simon Sinek's and all the folks that talk about, the why and really getting to the deeper side of the human piece of business. That movement needs to grow. And I think that love needs to be shown. But I think it's both personal and professional. And I think opening it up in business helps people to prioritize it personally. And to me, that feels really good. I said to someone when we were going through our deal last year, it was intense selling a company in 2022 when we did it. And I said to someone, success looks like a lot of money, but it looks like a lot of money and we're all still married. So we need to prioritize and spend time with our families, even though there's a lot going on right now. And I think it's taking that tack that gives it a richness that makes it even more valuable than the economics.
And I shared a selfie with you when I think I sent it to you. Jenny and I were talking about this when we were prepping. Abby, and she's okay if I use her name. She's a Sola studio owner. Yeah. I don't even know if you call it, I don't even know if you call it an owner, but yeah. So she's my stylist. I have been with her for 10 years. She has been on this journey with me. I have been on her journey. Yep. She is absolutely 100% the person when I say I want to inspire younger women to create, to believe they can, and then create their own enduring success. Abigail Rosada is literally the picture in my head. So she's amazing. And a huge, huge success factor for her is when she went out on her own and created her own studio within Sola. And I will tell you, joy and love would 100% be what she gravitated to. She gravitated to for her world and life. And, in the end, that is a client of someone who the franchisee, serves. So anyways, full circle, I totally believe and embrace joy.
100%. Yeah. And that is just an example of how giving back and giving back and giving back builds success. So you think about, what franchising did for me was bust the glass ceiling. Like I would have been at the glass ceiling, but having something that let me follow my bliss and find ways to give back in companies that I just love. And then you look at companies that are finding ways to do that. And Sola is a great example of it, where their real mission is helping these beauty professionals to realize the lives of their dreams. What an amazing mission. And many of them said, the franchisees would say to me, why I love this business is it lets me do for these hairstylists what franchising has done for me. It gives them optionality and freedom. Yeah. And what they want, that freedom that they're seeking, is fundamentally, I think, what we're all seeking in life. We want the ability to sort of define our own success and, what does that look like? For some of them, it's an economic goal. For others, they're later in their careers and it's about freeing up their time so that they can spend more time with their families and kids and work on their own schedules. For some, it's the ability to curate their clients so that they can, sort of filter out negativity and surround themselves with other positive people. And what better microcosm for what we're all trying to achieve than that? So I love that example, Trish. I really do. It's a brand that will always hold a very special place in my heart.
Yeah. And you led the way. And Christina, just first off, thank you for choosing to give me your love. How about that? In investing your time, in thinking about the questions, in providing your perspective and your stories. Like, to me, that is a manifestation of love, and I receive it wholeheartedly. And thank you for embracing the love that I wanted to give to you, in this time together. I think you are remarkable. You're remarkable. And I can't wait to see who changes your mind. I'm on sabbatical. Change my mind.
That's great. Yeah, well, Trish, I think the work you're doing is amazing. So congratulations to you on what you're doing here. And it's my honor, really, to be on this. So thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for making this work before you go on your girls' trip, because I think you are heading out on a much needed trip with your community.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, my best friend of 30 something years. You lose track after a while, but you talk about, that sort of enduring friendship and people that you deeply have. I have a handful of friends that I've had my entire life, and this is someone that is good to spend time with. So I'm excited.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Choose and Become interview series. To check out more episodes, go to www.trishkendall.com/podcast, or go to any of your favorite podcast channels, including YouTube, under Trish Kendall Speaks, and you'll find this interview and more. Choose and become.